William Morrow and HarperAudio present The Lost Book of Bonn, a novel by Brianna Labuskes, performed by Christa Lewis. To the pirates, the women of Rose Street, and anyone who has protested injustice in this world. Chapter 1. Emmy. April 1946, Frankfurt, Germany. Emmy Clarke was a librarian, not a soldier. She met her eyes in the cracked mirror hanging in the Frankfurt train station WC and told herself that again. She was a librarian. The United States Army uniform Emmy wore mocked that assertion. It was a costume, though, a powerful one that offered Emmy protection as she traveled through post-war Germany, but a costume nonetheless. Mr. Luther Harris Evans, the director of the Library of Congress, had told her that all the trappings, including an Army title she certainly hadn't earned, were a precaution. She wouldn't be in a single moment of danger if she accepted the 2-month assignment abroad. Had Director Evans known her well, he would have realized she didn't care about the potential danger. She just didn't want to see herself in the uniform that her husband had died in. Emmy touched the tie at her neck and remembered how she'd tightened Joseph's 4-in-hand knot the morning he'd shipped out, like she had 1,000 times since they'd been married. The pain of the loss had dulled, as everyone had said it would, but being in Germany was bringing it all back, and this was only the first day of her new assignment. A faint heart never filled a spade flush, Emmy whispered to herself, a saying her mother had picked up in the Montana logging towns they'd traveled through. Poker a religion, more than a pastime out there. The phrase was a bit of card-sharp nonsense, but it always reminded her of what she had already been through in her life and survived. She could do this too. Emmy gave her reflection a firm nod, and then bent to retrieve her bag. Stragglers were still disembarking from the train when she stepped back out onto the platform, but the crowd was thinning. She was thankful for that. There were too many people in U.S. Army uniforms, and she needed to find a specific one. Major Wesley Arnold. The major was a member of the Monuments, Fine Arts, and Archives Unit, the group that had been irreverently dubbed Monuments Men. Emmy had always loved the idea of them, scuttling about Europe, protecting artistic and architectural masterpieces from bombs, Allies and Axis alike, safeguarding humanity's cultural inheritance. No one on the platform looked like an academic who also punched Nazis in the name of defending art, so she kept walking, hoping he would find her first. When she got to the lobby, Emmy was immediately surrounded by a group of young children, their thin little bodies pressing into her legs, their hands reaching up, palms and fingernails crusted with dirt. She wasn't fluent in German, but knew enough to realize they were begging for food. After several days of traveling by train through the country, she had been prepared for this onslaught. Starving children gathered at spots along the railroad all the way from the port to Frankfurt, calling out to passengers for cigarettes and candy and sandwiches, never for money. That wouldn't do them any good. Bitte, 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 they cried in unison. Please, please, please. Emmy resented them. She hated them even, because they made her care. And Emmy didn't want to feel any kind of complex emotion for Germans, children or not. Her chest went tight as she pictured that moment of fixing Joseph's tie once more. His smile, the dark curl that fell over his forehead. "Don't you forget me," he'd said. A tease, a joke. But there had been a serious thread that ran through those words. They both knew his likely fate. Bitte.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?